Hello and welcome back to this video. I hope that you all are fine and keeping well. Today in this video I'm going to teach the Portrait of a Lady by Custard. The Portrait of a Lady is a biographical short story written by Custard. It is a pen picture. Here the author is depicting his relation with his grandmother. In this video I'm going to read the first 5 paragraphs with their word meanings, explanations, and that will be followed by other 2 videos where I will give the explanation of the remaining paragraphs as well as the question and answers from the chapter. I hope that this video will help my viewers and the students. First about the author, and then it will be followed by paragraph and the word meanings of critical words from those particular paragraphs. So first about the author. Custard is one of the greatest writers of modern India. He was born on 2nd February 1915 in Hadali, Punjab in Pakistan. He was a prolific writer and a versatile genius. He was a novelist, a journalist, lawyer and a politician. He was brought up in Delhi. He went to St. Stephen's College, Delhi and King's College, London. He was known for his trenchant views on secularism. He is appreciated for his sense of humor and sarcasm. He was awarded with Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan. This great Indian author died on 20th March 2014 in Delhi. Dear students, now I'm going to read out the first paragraph and then I'll give the word meanings from this paragraph. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband. But that was hard to believe. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban and loose-fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. He did not look the sort of person who would have a wife or children. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child. That seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of prophets she used to tell us. The students, in this paragraph, there are certain words like mantelpiece. Mantelpiece is a shelf above a fireplace. The best part of his chest, almost the whole chest. 3. The thought was almost revolting. All the words which are difficult I have underlined for your perusal. I hope that it will help you. The thought was almost revolting. That means it was unbelievable. He could not believe that this could be ever possible. Fables. Fables are traditional short stories that teach moral. Prophets. Persons sent by God who teach the messages of God. Paragraph 2. She had always been short and fat and slightly bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. No, we were certain she had always been as we had known her. Old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older, and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. She hobbled about the house in spotless white, with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop, and the other telling the beads of her rosary. Her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale, puckered face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayer. Yes, she was beautiful. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. Dear students, here the author is talking about grandmother's appearance. She had crisscross wrinkles on her face, right? And she used to walk, that is hobbled. Crisscross means with many straight lines that cross each other, and hobbled means to walk with difficulty. Stoop means bent. Telling the beads, here telling the beads means saying the prayers. Then rosary. Rosary is a string of beads used for counting prayers. People use this rosary while they say the prayers, and they keep counting the beads in the rosary. 6. Silver locks. Here the silver locks means the grey hair of grandmother. They looked white, silvery. Number 7. Scattered means spread over. Puckered. Puckered means having small folds and lines. The author is describing her grandmother's face, and it was having wrinkles and crisscross marks on her face. Number 9. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity. Here the author's grandmother was pure and pristine like a winter landscape in the mountain. She was calm and quiet. The author describes the grandmother just like pure and pristine and white winter landscape. Number 10. Contentment, that means satisfaction. So we come to the third paragraph of this story. My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city, and we were constantly together. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. She said her morning prayer in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed me, in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I loved her voice, but never bothered to learn it. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot, and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle and hand it to me. After a breakfast of a thick stale chapati with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. Dear students, here the word meaning of monotonous means repetitious, plastered, covered, stale, no longer fresh, and chapati means a type of flat round Asian bread. In this paragraph, the author is talking about his relation with his grandmother. She used to be with him, with the author. The author is telling that she used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. She used to do a lot of things. Okay. And at the same time, she used to say the prayers constantly so that the author could listen to that prayer and learn by heart. But in fact, the author is saying that he did not bother to learn, but he loved her voice. That's why he kept on listening. Okay. And here it shows that the author, they used to have not a very lavish breakfast in the morning. Used to have stale chapatis with sugar and some butter, right? That shows that they were not very rich at that time. Now paragraph 4. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer, while the children sat in rows on either side of the veranda, singing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. My grandmother sat inside reading the scriptures. When we had both finished, we would walk back together. This time, the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. Here also I have underlined two words, scriptures and growling. Scriptures means the holy book of a particular religion. It may be from any religion. Scriptures means the holy book and the writings from the book. And growling, making low noise, low sound as in anger. The dogs growl. Even tigers and lion, they can growl. The dogs were growling. Here the dogs were growling, just they wanted to get the chapatis, stale chapatis which they used to give to them. I mean, they means the grandmother and the author. Dear students, now we are in paragraph 5. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. Here also I have underlined 3 phrases. Send for, asked someone to come. Turning point, the time when an important change takes place. Took to, began to do as a habit. Here the author says that the parents were settled in the city, and it was a turning point because the author had to go to the city. So dear friends, I hope that you will read the chapter aloud and try to understand the meaning. Here, these 5 paragraphs, the author and the grandmother's relation are nicely depicted, and towards the end, the last paragraph here, in this 5th paragraph, we have seen how the grandmother and the author, they had turning point in their life. Both of them were going to miss each other, right? I hope that you like this video. If you have liked this video, kindly comment, like and subscribe for this video, and don't forget to see the other parts of this video in order to complete this short story. Next 2 videos I will describe the story furthermore and explain the difficult words and difficult phrases, and give you the question and answers from the chapter and extra questions also. Thank you. Have a good day.